My daughter is pathologically righteous. When her male classmate accidentally bumped her elbow while doing his homework, she reported him to the principal. He was forced to transfer schools. When a male teacher was tutoring a female student after class, she snapped a picture, posted it on the school's online forum, and accused them of having an affair. The teacher was fired. I tried to reason with her, my voice tight with frustration, but she was defiant. "Mom," she'd said, her chin jutted out. "Men and women should keep their distance. I won't tolerate any indecency, not from anyone, not even from the people I love most." Last night, I worked late again. My colleague, Mark, gave me a ride home. The next morning, I was a trending topic. A picture, taken from a deliberately misleading angle, was plastered all over the internet. The comments were a tidal wave of vitriol, and there was my daughter, live streaming from the living room. "Mom," she said, her voice cool and steady for her online audience. "This time, you need to learn your lesson. With the whole world watching, maybe you'll finally learn to behave." My heart sank. With her twisted sense of right and wrong, she was systematically destroying my life. But what she didn't know was that Mark, the man who drove me home, was her father, an undercover agent working on a top-secret international case. I stepped out of my front door and was met with a barrage of hostile stares. My neighbors, who usually greeted me with a friendly wave, now looked at me with a mixture of disgust and suspicion. Before I could even attempt an explanation, a text from my office pinged on my phone. Human Resources was gently suggesting I take the day off. Defeated, I turned back home. The moment I opened the door, a phone was shoved in my face. Dahlia's eyes were cold, her voice like ice. "Hey everyone," she said to her live stream. "This is my mom. She has a thing for late-night dates with strange men, and she's always leaving me home alone." I looked at her, and it was like seeing a stranger. The daughter I had raised was gone, replaced by this cold, judgmental creature who spoke of me with utter contempt. The number of viewers on her stream was climbing. Fueled by her narrative, the comments poured in. "What a sad excuse for a mother. Only cares about her own pleasure. She looks like a slut." I knew she was no good. Damn, she still got it though. "Hey, send me her number." The vile words echoed in my ears. Dahlia followed me, a relentless shadow with a camera, documenting my every move. "My mom can't control herself," she narrated. "To make sure she doesn't run off with another man, I'll be live streaming her 24/7. Please, join me in keeping her accountable." I went to the kitchen. She followed. I went to the bathroom. She was right behind me. I snapped. I grabbed the phone and threw it across the room. "Dahlia, have I been too lenient with you? Have you completely lost your mind? The bathroom is a private space. Are you really going to film me in here?" She calmly picked up her phone and blocked the bathroom door with her body. "If you've done nothing wrong, you have nothing to hide. What are you so afraid of?" "Mom," she said, her voice devoid of emotion, "I'm going to watch your every move. I'm going to make you repent." The daughter I had raised for over a decade now looked at me with the eyes of an enemy. I couldn't hold back my anger any longer. I raised my hand to slap her. She didn't even flinch. She just leaned in closer. "Go ahead," she challenged. "The whole world is watching. If you hit me, it's child abuse. It's domestic violence. And I'll have all the evidence I need to give to the police." I was speechless. My home, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison, suffocating me. I couldn't stand to be there another second. I slammed the door and left. On the street, the stares of strangers felt like needles in my back. Their whispers followed me. You'd never guess by looking at her, but she's that kind of woman. Her own daughter exposed her. She must be a prostitute. Stay away from her. Who knows what diseases she's carrying. I felt like a turtle, retreating into my shell, my head bowed in shame. I spent the night at my best friend's place. She tried to console me, telling me Dahlia would grow out of it, that she would understand one day. But my heart ached. She used to be such a sweet, clever little girl, always clinging to me, begging for cuddles. How had she become this monster? When I returned home the next day, the house was full of strangers. They were a cleaning crew, hired by Dahlia. She emerged from the living room, a frown on her face. "Mom, with your lifestyle, you could be bringing all sorts of germs into the house. I'm having the place disinfected." The air was thick with the acrid smell of some industrial-strength cleaning agent. The new wallpaper I had just put up was already stained and rage boiled up inside me. I snatched the spray bottle from one of the workers and threw it to the ground. "What do you think you're doing? Get out! All of you, get out of my house!" Dahlia stepped in front of them, a human shield. "I hired them. They're providing a service. Until we're sure you're not carrying any diseases, you have no right to make them leave." The cleaning crew muttered amongst themselves. "That Dahlia is such a good kid. How did she end up with a mother like that?" "Exactly. It's people like her who spread diseases and she won't even let us disinfect. This is infuriating. That poor girl." Their whispers were a chorus of condemnation, all centered on my supposed promiscuity. And Dahlia just stood there, her face impassive, as they methodically destroyed my home. The next day, I planned to go to my office and explain everything to my boss. But before I could even rehearse my speech, I got a call from Dahlia's school. "Mrs. Dalton, we need you to come to the school immediately." The principal's grim tone told me it was serious. When I arrived, I found out that Dahlia had accused me of collecting inappropriate materials that were having a negative impact on her mental and emotional well-being. The teachers in the office stared at me, their eyes like daggers. I walked up to my daughter, my voice shaking with disbelief. "I'm your mother," I almost screamed. "Why are you doing this to me? What inappropriate materials? Show them to me." Dahlia's expression was unnervingly calm. She reached into her backpack and pulled out my old physiology textbook from when I was studying for my medical license, along with a few copies of a women's magazine I liked. The textbook had been on my desk for years. The magazines were a guilty pleasure, a bit of nostalgia. She flipped through the textbook to the chapter on the reproductive system, the pages filled with detailed anatomical diagrams. She handed it to the school administrators, her voice ringing with the authority of a prosecutor. "Mom, can you honestly say this is a normal book? It has explicit drawings of private body parts." The administrators, despite their education, flushed with embarrassment. She wasn't done. She opened the magazines. I had to admit, the headlines were a bit sensationalized, but I kept them tucked away, out of sight. Dahlia, like a triumphant rooster, continued to list my crimes. Mom, because of your promiscuous lifestyle, I've decided to post your professional license and your ID online, as a warning to others. The school administrators tried to intervene. Dahlia, I'm sure your mother didn't mean any harm. She knows she was wrong now. Let's just let it go, okay? Let her go home and reflect. Mrs. Dalton, what do you say? We can just forget about posting your information online. Until now, the humiliation had been mostly anonymous. The pictures she'd posted were blurry, and not everyone was terminally online. But this, posting my official documents, my professional license, my ID, it would be social suicide. Every parent at her school, everyone at my job, they would all know. It would be like walking around naked. Before I could answer, my phone rang. It was my niece. Auntie, why is Dahlia at my office? She's demanding they fire me. The world went black for a second. My niece had just passed her probationary period at her new government job. How did you even find your cousin's office? I demanded. Dahlia sneered. Last month, I saw her holding hands with a man on the street. It was disgusting. A person like that has no place working in public service. I was shaking with rage. My niece was a grown woman. It was perfectly normal for her to be dating. Dahlia, your cousin is in a perfectly normal relationship. Holding hands is not a crime, I shouted. You're going to ruin her life. She just tilted her head back. Improper conduct is a serious matter. I don't care what she does, but if I see it, I will report it. I have zero tolerance for immorality. I was so angry I could barely breathe. I had to spend the rest of the day smoothing things over with my niece's boss, promising it would never happen again. After that incident, my brother and his wife cut off all contact with us. My information went up on all the major websites anyway. My clearest photos, my full name, my elementary school, my high school, my place of work, even my department. My address was posted too. I was put on a digital pillory. My every move was documented and dissected. The word slut was permanently attached to my name. My office quickly found out. The online rumors spread like wildfire, each new version more exaggerated than the last. Tabloid reporters and clout chasers camped outside my house. My phone was inundated with obscene text messages. Hey beautiful, how much for a night? Can I book you for tonight? And calls from a rotating cast of blocked numbers. I sent you a text, you bitch. Stop playing hard to get. How much? I've got the money. I would scream at them to leave me alone, throwing my phone across the room, but I could still hear their jeers. What a whore, pretending to be all high and mighty. Her own daughter said she sells her body. I was too afraid to look at my phone, too afraid to go online. I became a prisoner in my own home. I tried to talk to her, to reason with her. Dahlia, I'm not seeing anyone. It was late, I couldn't get a cab, and Uncle Mark gave me a ride. She turned to look at me, her eyes like poisoned darts. I'd rather you didn't come home at all than have a man bring you. You say you were working late, but who knows what you were really doing? Her insinuation hung in the air, thick and venomous. My voice trembled with rage. What was I doing, Dahlia?